So first, let me just say, thanks to you guys, Ron Gordon, who's competing this weekend. Vigorous Steve
Good luck.
in Thailand.
Up,
I know it's late. You probably just left the go-go bar.
Yeah, I just came back. Yeah, freshened up a little bit.
Yeah.
Took all the makeup and the kisses off, and I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, he's in Thailand. So I figured we're going to do both of you guys because I wanted to get Ron on. That was basically this last-minute addition because I know he's competing this weekend, and he looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yes, and Milos just told me that,
see him.
Huh?
I do not see him.
Well, I don't know, but he looks.
I mean, it's 5 of us. You don't see 5 screens?
I see 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you on the phone?
Yeah, that's okay.
On laptop.
Yeah, that's strange. We have 5. I see 5. Everybody, that's Vigorous. You see all of us?
Oh, there we go. There we
I
go.
see elevated. Yeah,
Okay.
including Nico.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, first, let me say this. Ron,
Yo.
and Steve, I don't know if you follow bodybuilding, obviously.
Of course.
So,
yes.
okay, good. Because
I have a little bit of muscle. A little bit.
So this is not your first pro show, right?
No, I've been around for a little bit.
Yeah. So, but this is it looks like you're taking this one a little bit more serious, and your body seemed to be probably coming together very nice for this one. How do you feel about the show coming up this Sunday? Saturday. Saturday or Sunday?
It's gonna be Saturday this year.
Okay.
Thanks for the compliments, Dennis. Yeah, the last couple of years, I've been really marrying the off season and contest prep together. And I felt like in years past, I kind of nailed one or not the other. And I feel like the last couple of years, I've been injury free. Prep has been going well. And I don't know if it's because it's in Detroit or what, but that's where I'm from. So, last year I had a good showing there, and I want to go back and improve on my placing.
Yeah, he was 3rd last year, Dennis.
Yeah. It was a smaller event last year because there wasn't as many competitors, which I don't understand why. And I'm really happy for continue to put this show on, and this year having a much better lineup. If we can, maybe we could just bring up the complete competitor list. In the meantime, Vigorous Steve, we never met. You know how
We met once at the Olympia 2 years ago.
Oh,
that was just a two-second conversation.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
No worries.
This is how I got to you. I was watching a video. I'm on YouTube, and me and my wife were sitting there. All of a sudden, I said, you know what? Let's check if my gym is still there. And when I say gym, it's the Universe Gym because I started the Universe Gym. And then the video pops up that you made going through gyms in Pattaya. And, I'm just like, let's watch this guy. And then you said, it was 2000. I opened that gym in 1994.
Oh,
Actually,
that's a long time
it was,
ago.
a long time ago. And it was so fucking funny when you mentioned the equipment because all the equipment that you see there that was yellow, that was all self-made. That's not a brand name. It was all...
No, it was all self-made, yes.
All self-made. And we literally had a guy, who was a French guy who lived there too, who was a very well welder. So we used... a catalog from Cypex, and he literally just copied the parts. And then he came
It's
with
the Thai way, man.
Then he came with his pickup truck, and I sat on the truck on an imaginary chair, and just trying to give him the angle where it should be. And he was like, went back and finished it. That's how we did that gym. So yeah, it's
one of the first gyms there, first real big gyms. And then Power Zone opened up in Bangkok a couple of years later with City, Charun Rit. I think he trained at Universe Gym also. Universe Gym changed location like 4 times.
Yeah.
So it's on Sukhumvit Road now, not Beach Road anymore.
Right. City was my athlete in the very beginning. I used to train him, not train him, like he trained with me a couple of times, and I went with him back then to Malaysia to compete, still as an amateur. Yeah, but that was just that's how I got to you. I said, listen, I want to talk to this guy. So let's get to Ron real quick. Let's put the list up. And then we can go back to Thailand later because Milos has a lot of questions about Thailand. All right, we have Justin Abbott. Not sure who that is. I'm going to be perfectly honest. William Bonac, Ralph Farah, Aaron Gawley, Ronald Gordon, Sassin Harati, James Hollingshead, Daniel Corman, Walter Martin, Adam Mileage, Chris Miller, Justin Musio, Benjamin Rafala, Carlos Thomas Jr., Bartley Weaver, and that's the complete lineup.
How many? Like 12, 13?
Where's Hollingshead? Did he make it?
Yeah,
He's in there.
15. He's in there. He's in there.
Yeah, it's twice as much people as last year.
Yeah.
Because last year was, what, 6, 7 guys?
Yeah. It was really low, really low. So I'm happy for Ford. And we also have, of course, the classic physique open category with Basim Ashuri, Gabriel Castillo, Jack Eagles, Daniel Fabode, Lucas Funk, Adrian Cordillo, Matthew Grego, Brock Jenkins, Alex Kent, Hamza Said, Luke Andrew Steiger, Wesley Wizards, and Jay Yont. So let's get to the open first. Who is your top? Who do you see winning this show from the lineup, the names that I just mentioned? I'm gonna just go right through the whole round. Just give me one guy that you think is going to win this show.
Who's going?
Milos.
Yeah, who's going? Because Ron is competing, so it's hard for him to say, I'm just winning.
I wasn't going to ask him unless he wants to say something.
Okay. Well, let's put it this way. According to the prestige, right, and reputation and everything, William Bonac obviously is one of the huge favorites, right? Mm-hmm. Ron being third and very much improved and having #bodybuilding physique all over the place, beautiful shape, now more size. He comes in condition. If he presents himself, he's going to be a super threat. And Ron, we didn't talk. I've seen a couple of your actually videos. And I tried to contact you on Instagram because, of course, I always just pay attention to little details. Love your physique. You are like Dexter Jackson. Everything is super small waist, the round muscle bells. Arms are crazy. You have the chest, shoulders just standing there. Legs improve. Which I catch in that video was just, you didn't, what I say always, glue your stomach to the spine. For a physique like yours, I promise you, for a physique like yours, nothing else matters but that. Legs, abs, legs, abs, legs, abs. Because you have now so much mass and cartoonish look, full shoulders, chest, arms, back is improved. I remember we did this killer back workout also, and a killer leg workout, by the way. Yeah, he almost died. But anyway, you are definitely front runner there. If you bring everything, listen, I don't know how many days you have to the show, but if I'm your coach, I would tell you from this moment until you step on that stage, your stomach should be glued all the way back into your chair. And that you just have to learn how to breathe that way.
Okay, so let me ask the question one more time, Milos.
Yeah.
Who's going to win the show?
Prediction. William is huge favorite, but Ron is like so much taller and he brings something fresh. He can be a contender. James Hollingshead, yeah, on the paper, it's always competitive, but I don't know. For me, James lost a little bit of that pop and the width. He looked to be a little bit narrowish, even though conditions now are better. When he stands next to somebody that is very wide, it's going to be visible. He's going to be in condition because he's contender. Sasfer Herati, I don't know exactly his
Okay, Milos, I was going to go through everybody afterwards, but I was just going to ask you from the top.
Five.
No, I need your top. I need the one that's going to win.
Dennis, you know that always it depends on too many things.
I know, but if we're going to do the top 5, you still have to do a winner. Just give me the one who you think right now who's winning. We can change that until the end of the show.
Well, William for me is
it's the highest favorite guy going into the show. That alone, I think, has to give him the nod for right now.
But you see, somebody exactly like Ron, and people are going to say I'm talking about Ron because he's here and kissing his ass. I could care less to kiss ass, right? You have that physique that can be a shock factor, like just beautiful, everything. If you nail it, you have a chance.
Okay.
Herati's condition out of your mind. He's like Andreas Munzer kind of slice and dice. So, but he doesn't have that structure and shape. So when you go this against like beautifully shaped condition, sometimes shouldn't just you win on condition. You have to win on Chris Cormier's type of physique, which Ron, start resembling to.
Okay, let me go to Steve because Milos is not making up his mind right now. Steve, who do you think who do you think is winning the show?
I think William is going to win. I mean, he made continuous progress since he switched to Boss of Outlaw, Stefan Kinzel. And I based on his progress pictures, I feel that he's improved from his latest couple of showings. And he's just slowly coming back to his previous good old shape. Now, I haven't seen Ron next to William, so I'm not sure how they're going to compare because Ron, again, has that crazy shape and fresh-looking muscle. And then William is a little bit older, of course. His legs are going a little bit smaller and back is getting a little bit smaller. But William would be a safe bet until he stands next to Ron and Sazerati. And then I might change my mind. But based now on my memory, I would say that William wins. And then depending on how the other guys show up, it might be a battle for second.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Chris, what say you, my friend?
I would. Looking at the lineup, I would say Ron. I would. I love you, Ron. I would. If I had to bet the house. But I did see a lot of improvement out of William at the Arnold. So that's what makes me a little apprehensive.
Okay. So if you have to bet your house, who are you putting on?
God damn. I think it's going to be a close race between RPG and William. I've seen a lot of improvement out of the lad this last off season.
So are you saying you're avoiding the question too?
It's just hard to say, man, because like I say, he's got the most width and most real estate to play with on the stage is Ron. Mm-hmm. William is a lot more compact, but he was a little bit more. He was pretty detailed than I've seen him in a minute, so I was pretty impressed with that at the Arnold. So
the good thing is that all that will make for a very interesting show, which is a good thing. There's no walk in the park for anybody. I mean, we got, just like Steve mentioned, Sass. I think Sass, if anybody just makes a wrong move in the last couple of days, Sass can upset the whole card.
That's the shorter guy, right?
So could, if anything goes wrong with the other guys,
I want him to smile a little bit.
So could Carlos Thomas Jr. or James Hollingshead, guys. There's a few guys that can possibly win this show. I'm just asking, who do you have in first as of right now?
As of right now, I can go with RPG right now.
Okay.
I've seen. I want to see those guys next to each other, and I think it would be crazy because, like I say, because of the differential out of all the. Just the dark horse in this one. So,
yeah, for sure. And if you bring that fresh look with all the improvements that you made, then you can knock a couple guys out. That's 100% guaranteed. But if you have to play it safe,
the puncher's chance.
Yeah,
I give him
I think it's more than a puncher's chance there.
How about you, Dennis?
I think as of right now, I have to give it to William, and this is strictly because he's the highest ranking guy going into the show, so he's the favorite. And if I have to choose one person or two that could possibly upset William, then I would have to mention Ron. And Carlos, if he fucking nails the condition.
If he dials it in, he's very dangerous.
Even if he's not 100%, if he gets to 95% with the shape and the muscle bellies that he has, I think he can upset the whole card too.
Yeah.
If I might jump in.
Oh.
I'll give you just a comparison. William surprised me last year in all the shows that he did. I see him in Dubai, and here we have a similarity of Becruz, like Ron, right, going against the super dance veteran. There's just like, oh my God, that rock hard condition, but structure is not perfect. Steve, I think that William is not losing legs. He actually is getting his legs back. There was a period. of the time when he was losing and he is getting him back. I think that he's improved to the last year's edition.
Yeah.
And last year he beat De Cruz in one show in Spain, and then he plays second in Dubai. So you always have to count in William. But Ron, here's my thing. If you show the size, if you don't do the wrong moves, that, you can, how they labeled you sometimes, beautiful physique, but maybe not enough muscle for that height and structure. And sometimes in between poses, right, if you relax the legs, they don't have as much volume. So you have to pop them out all the time. And that waist, because it's so small, can create the sweep much bigger. So this is your ticket to win. Because shape alone is like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is what everybody wants.
Ron, what improvements from last year to this year? What improvements did you make? And I'm not asking you the question. Well, you can if you want to answer it. But where do you see yourself? How confident are you? Where do you see yourself in this week's lineup?
I'm extremely confident. And although I'm aware of who's competing, I'm not going to give you guys some cliche answer and say, I don't pay attention to that stuff. I am aware, but I'm confident because bodybuilding is about making your own improvements, right? And I look at everybody in the lineup and I know that I'm bringing something that they haven't seen. And the last time was my best. And I'm head and shoulders above where I was last year. I've improved my back, not necessarily just in tissue, but I've improved my posing to display. I feel like last year I left my rear lat spread hanging and I really didn't display it well. And it's going to be a winning pose this year. I feel like as far as conditioning, I'll be comparable, if not one of the top guys as far as conditioning is concerned. And unlike last year, I have one other taller guy to be compared to, which I always thinks because James is going to be there. So I like that. With that said, I do respect the heck out of everybody. You know, William's been second at the Olympia. He's won the Arnold Classic 3 times. But like I said, last year, I was able to stand with Martin and Good Vito, and we all saw what Martin was able to do last year. So I have a lot of confidence that I can stand with guys of that caliber. And as Milo said, I think my ticket is going to be presentation. I think that I can gain or lose a lot of ground just based on how I present my physique. Because, you know, if I present it well, I can look 10 pounds bigger. And if I don't, I can drop a pose completely because I didn't display it properly. So with that said, it's in my hands. So if it's in my hands, I can't help but to have confidence in what I can do.
Yeah.
Do you need to touch yourself before you hit the pose, Ron?
I do. I got to feel on myself.
Why is that?
Make sure that it's full.
Is that what he's doing? Is that what he's doing? He's touching himself before he hits the shot?
Yeah, man. It drives me nuts.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like where?
Well, just like he's doing the pose, he's like,
oh yeah. Listen. This is not against you, Ron. This is I see this on a lot of people where when they do their shots from the rear, they would feel if their hamstrings is tight. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know. Like you don't know they're tight or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, listen, it's definitely something I want to correct. And I know Chris is he's the man when it comes to posing. You know, people think obviously Breon's a great poser. Well, that's who we learned from. But I also know with Chris, I can go out there and pose like Sean Ray, and he's going to have something to say. And I appreciate that. You know, you know, he goes, "Hey man, you didn't clip your big toenail. I get it. That's cool."
Yeah.
You know, so
he's going to find. He's going to find something.
It's going to be him.
Yeah.
The one thing I realized about Chris is that if he doesn't give you commentary, that probably means it's not worth commenting on. So when he says something, that at least means I have his attention.
Yeah. At least you understand me.
So make sure your pinky finger is in the right position when you go into the shot.
Yeah, I just want to make sure my physique doesn't look tampered with.
Yeah. Steve, do you compete?
Too much.
No, never competed. I met Jay Cutler in 2006 after he won the Mr. Olympia. Then I shook his hand, and then all my aspirations fell to the floor. I was like, I can never. I could, dude. He was huge.
Yeah.
And I was off. It was just natty. So I had no idea people could be that big. I mean, I was training in the same gym as William Bonac and a couple other pros from Holland, but I had no idea that humans could actually be that big. And then when I shook his hand, it was like, maybe this is not for me.
So that discouraged you to compete?
Yeah.
Well,
And we didn't have classic physique or anything like that. So I figured I could never be that size. I've never seen a human that size. And it just felt so out of reach that I was like, you know what? I'll just focus on my career.
okay, that's interesting because Jay just said it. The first time he saw Dorian, he had the same response like you said. There's no way. There's no way I can be like this. I said,
But Jay was already huge when he was 18. Like I was 26 when I met or 24.
Yeah.
When I met him, he was just twice my size. And his
But
hands
it's
were
interesting
twice my
to
size
hear
also.
this from Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler, to see Dorian and say this is just unattainable. And
We all had that feeling in '93, though. I think we all sat in our chair and was like, "Oh hell no!" I was like, "No, man."
Yeah, but if you think of his weight back then was it 257, 256?
yeah.
Today people get on stage at 300. What's the difference
But
here?
the density is the difference, though, I think, because if you're that solid, and I mean, it was like a shred of fat on the guy. You know, I met him in 1990, but he didn't make me feel like I didn't have a chance on ever beating him. But 93 rolls around, you just sit in your chair like, oh my goodness.
Steve is a smart guy. Steve, what do you think is the difference between the 240s and the 250s back in the days to the 280s and the 300s today?
Yeah, things just evolved. The nutrition and the training and the pharmacology all evolved a little bit. So as we get longer into this bodybuilding game, we learn more, and that allows people to be bigger and healthier at that body weight. And I think, the inter-workout nutrition has changed quite a bit. So, the distended stomachs are no longer a thing. And it's just ever evolving.
So do you
think
the guys today are healthier than the guys back in the days?
From what I've heard, perhaps, yeah.
Where do we hear that the guys today are?
So of course, like in the past, people were not so open about what they were taking, right? And the drug education was basically Milos, and the public drug education was Milos. He did a couple seminars which you could download, and then you had John Meadows with his website, and then the steroid forums. So there was a lot of speculation on what was being done. So you hear things through the grapevine, whether that's true or not. I'm not really sure, but I don't have access to the information you guys had back then. All I can see is the blood work that I get sent now, once in a while from some pros. Then I see, that's actually not too bad. And then you see the protocol.
Do you think the guys today use less than the guys back in the days?
Some of them do. Some of them use more. Like, I mean, I've talked to pros that run like 4 or 5 grams of gear in total, which is quite a lot. No, I think things just changed a little bit over time.
Milos, you still work with athletes today. Do you think the guys today use more than back in the days?
I think so, definitely. I mean, Steve, I don't know. I mean, you work with many clients, so maybe you run into some examples. But back in the day, and when Dorian says he used 2 parabolons a week, you can bet your life. I mean, Dorian is always straight shooter, always said the same thing, right? And everything else with the primos, the test, or whatever else. When you hear 70s and 80s, of course, even though I don't believe Tom Platz was only on 100 milligrams of whatever he said that he was and nothing else. 80s and then beginning of 90s, there was still hesitation and fear of not knowing, right? It's like we were kind of experiments. I mean, when Arnold was doing things, holy grail of bodybuilding, test deck, D-ball, right? I started, is very little information out there, right? So how much you take. But then comes 90s and, towards the 2000s, there was really people, and Dennis, those guys, they say like, no amount of steroids can kill you, so he's going to take whatever. And then we get the, extremes of 10 anadrol a day and 3,000 milligrams of test. And when you talk about the grams, sometimes would come close to 10 grams. And I'm afraid to say it because when you say it, it's like, oh my God, because there is somebody, somebody did it, I'm going to do it. So please don't do it. I do think that underground labs, maybe the potency of their stuff would not be equivalent to some of pharmacy made throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s. And I don't know, I cannot attest myself because when I competed and used 300 milligrams of something, and I was training fully, and now I take a 300 milligrams of something else, but doesn't respond as well. So I would blame it on it's maybe not potent enough. But the truth is, I don't train as hard, I don't diet as hard. So God knows. But many of the people that send me the list, they are all in, I would say, 2-3 grams a week is common.
Yeah, well, if you put it all together, that sounds just about normal, I would say. But
people are under.
I also think that it depends on what countries. There's different countries. They have different mindsets where they say some countries. I'm not going to name the countries, but some of them just don't give a fuck. They do all or nothing, you know. And I think with all the death that we had in the last 5-6 years, and I'm not saying this was because of steroids. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that most bodybuilders today, especially the ones in the U.S., they probably realize, I said, wait a minute, man, they're just falling off the damn bench like nothing. So maybe that slows them down a little bit too. And I think you're right with that, you know, because now most of the stuff is underground, UG labs, you know, and people think they're underdosed, and people talk about it. And so you immediately believe that whatever you're getting right now is underdosed, so you say, let me double up to get what I really want, without knowing if it's underdosed or not. So that's a big factor too.
I think a lot of guys are also not scared anymore because we talk now about health medications, like blood pressure medications, cholesterol medications, so they feel a little bit safer by taking ezetimibe or statin or blood pressure medication, that they can ramp up the dose a little bit higher. And it seems that most bodybuilders don't really come off anymore, or at least run a cruise dose that's close to a couple hundred milligrams.
Yeah.
Instead of back in the day, I believe that people would come off in between seasons.
That's one of the biggest differences to me is I can't say for everybody, but I know I came off. And I was coming off a lot longer than what I should have. Like I was off as much as I was on. And I was still pushing big weight. Like I remember I looked at a photo the other day, I was doing 7 plates and I know I was off at that time.
Yeah, but you still have the muscle, so the power is still there. You know.
Then I'm looking at this. I'm looking at people are taking more, but the weight is less. Does that make any sense?
Well, a lot of people you can
less weight.
A lot of people when they come off, they lose 30, 40 pounds.
I'm talking about utilizing the weight in the gym.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at some old tapes and I was doing a 200-pound pullover, 200-pound dumbbell pullover with Robbie and stuff like that. But I'm like, I was still doing 4 plates on the incline, all that shit when I was off. But you never see it on your own.
So, Chris, when you would come off back in the day, would you just eat more food to kind of compensate and slowly get fat? Or was that not an issue?
Chris would probably eat less.
Dance the fat off in the club.
Chris would eat less.
I would train harder.
Train harder, eat less.
I was never a big eater, but I would train harder because I was, like I say, I was coming up with Robbie Robinson, and that was the mindset behind the training.
See, in my case, a lot of people don't believe me when I say this because I was happy when I got to the point where I could come off. I was always happy when the show was fucking over and I didn't have to fucking pin myself. That was the best time of the year for me. When I don't do anything, I don't have to worry about nothing. And this is the truth. And people just don't believe it when I say this, but it's true.
I believe it.
It's true. It's true.
I started preps. And that's just gonna sit right there on the table. I'm gonna walk by because I'm like, I'm trying to dread it. I'm like, I'm already tired of doing it because I was doing, a lot of shows per year. So, and I just counted even looking at it, I was doing 12 shows in 1 year.
Yeah. Ron, are you planning on doing continuing competing this year, or is this just a one show and that's it?
No. I want to do at least 3 shows. California is in my backyard, and I think I'm going to jump into one of these other shows that are somewhere within the next month or 2.
So, what about Pittsburgh and the New York Pro?
I'm really thinking about doing Pittsburgh. I want to get up there with those guys.
Here's what I don't understand.
It's like the Olympia.
And don't take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
You're a competitor, and the way you look right now is, and you have the right attitude. You think you're going to be in the mix, right? So why not go and mix it up with these guys at the Pittsburgh Pro and at the New York Pro? I mean, if you want to be one of the best, you got to compete with the best. You cannot get, you know. So I don't understand why this is not on your list, regardless.
No, I just said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are doing Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the New York and the California. Right?
Well, yeah. So here's the thing, and you know what? I think that you're right. So when you look at Pittsburgh, and it's the first of its kind, right? Mm-hmm. And the way it's shaping up, it's probably going to evolve to being invite only pretty soon, right?
Possible.
So I'm probably never going to have an opportunity from a, sign my name here standpoint, to get on stage with these guys, aside from obviously my resume. So why not?
Yeah, and listen, and you can make a name for yourself and beat some of these guys this year. You know what I'm saying? Because the goal is to qualify for the Olympia, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, Milos, does he have what it takes?
Yeah, for sure. And
so that's what I think too.
Dennis, I'm glad that you asked. Of course, why is it? If the body is ready, you are at your all-time best right now. So if I'm you, I could not wait for the next week, next show. Chris and I, we did those 12 shows a year, and the more the better. How can you possibly miss? It's going to be Derek. It's going to be Nick, Martin, Boyner, Rizzo, and Goodvito.
Goodvito, yeah.
Okay, that's shaping up to be like, oh my God. Then I heard that not everybody is going to New York, but most of them are going to New York. I think that Regan is going also to New York. But this is best of the best. I mean, wherever you land, if you're compared, that's it. That's victory itself. Because they can remember you next to these guys, and you close the gap, and then you close even more. You were third in Detroit last year. This year, going there to battle with William. Yeah. Don't miss. This is like you have a
Unity.
8 to 5 job, I'm going to guess, but you're going to miss Tuesday and Thursday. You're going to just show up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Listen, I'm sold. I'll be there.
Why isn't Regan doing the Pittsburgh if he's doing New York?
I ask. It'd be the same logic. Maybe because sign up guys that maybe he thinks he cannot overcome, so he's focusing on one that he can.
So he's focusing on the New York Pro a week later, and the guys have until that Monday after Pittsburgh to sign up for the same show. What is he going to do? Pull out if they come sign up?
Yeah, I said the exact same thing. Listen, don't lose the opportunity. But you know how it is.
Yeah.
If you lose, you lose that momentum. So he is picking this.
But
because
if
Martin and Derek don't supposed to compete in New York.
Doesn't matter. But I believe if you stand next to these guys in Pittsburgh and you hold your own, this is going to help you to elevate you a bit further.
It ranks you for sure.
Right.
I think that a lot of guys are now kind of relying too much on that word momentum. And I think if they just attach themselves to, hey, I'm a professional. This is a show I want to do. I'm not picking my show based on the eventual result and just going out and improving. Because, a lot of people say, well, Samson is doing something somebody else didn't do before. And it's just like, yeah, but at the same time, one is a lot of money on the line. And the only reason a Mr. Olympia hadn't lost in that fashion is because they didn't try, So it's like you're upholding a record that doesn't really exist, because it's not like Mr. Olympia has been competing 3 or 4 times in subsequent shows, and they didn't get the job done. They just basically didn't do it outside of Ronnie.
Right. Yeah.
When is Sergio competing again?
He's doing
He's prepping
the
for
FIBO is his first show.
FIBO.
Oh, FIBO.
So
Okay.
I believe that after that, he will do Pittsburgh too. Why not?
Yeah, why not? If you're in shape, come
Yeah.
back and.
I mean, the FIBO it's a month. It's a whole month. So, yeah. I guess if he wins FIBO, he might not do it no more. I don't know. But I
And then
think,
he's qualified.
yeah, but I think if he's doing a FIBO, he should go right in, mix it up with these guys. They're going to be at the top of the Olympia because that's where you want to stand next to, not at the Olympia, before if you get a chance. Yes.
Everybody that can walk or crawl should be able to get
It's
into that show.
It's the same
Everybody.
thing that we saw happening earlier at the Arnold, where Logan Franklin all of a sudden came out of nowhere and challenged Mike Sommerfeld. That's going to help him at the Olympia if he qualifies. So he has to qualify.
But
So-
what do you think of Derek entering Pittsburgh? I'm blown away, and I love it because I never expected.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
He was already going to do Pittsburgh, brother.
Yeah, originally, but things change, right? When
No,
you-
not when you sign that contract. It don't change.
What did he
Oh,
sign?
he signed it before the
Signed it.
Arnold Classic? Ah, he
Oh,
had a
okay.
backup.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't need it. He can practice his peaking again.
Oh,
I
but
mean, he looked
you
peaked to the
that
max.
contract. There's no way that's a good look to get out of that contract.
I
Pittsburgh,
think,
no, you show up.
Yeah, you
I
want to
think
show up in
losing
Pittsburgh.
I think losing the Olympia liberated Derek in a way because he didn't have to, like I said, worry about, well, I don't want to lose my title. So it basically opened him up to say, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get back on stage, get this taste out of my mouth. And nobody's going to look at him if he loses and say, oh, Mr. Olympia lost. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, we're stripping this whole momentum thing away and just saying, hey, I'm feeling good, I'm looking good, and I'm getting on stage. And like I said, I think in a strange way, losing the Olympia kind of opened him up to that because I don't think he does these shows if he won.
Yeah.
He was doing it. That was the plan.
So
he was going to compete.
okay,
for it.
so let's back up. So he's prepping for the Olympia last year. Let's say 3-4 months hardcore prep, right? He loses the Olympia. Basically, he ends up in third place. So no break. He's going straight into the prep for the Arnold. Hardcore prep for the Arnold. He was at his all-time best. Now, no break. He's going for Pittsburgh Pro because he does not want to lose the Pittsburgh Pro, right? He's going to go in thinking, I got to win this show.
Yeah.
So, and then he has what? Then he has a couple of weeks of maybe resting his body just as a little bit, or he's going to go right back in prepping for the Olympia. So, how high, what the risk of him not being able to peak several times a year is high. We all know that.
Yeah.
And if you're at your best, we saw it with Hardy last year. He was at his best at the Arnold. He didn't even bring it to the Olympia. And he had plenty of time to recover in between. So now Derek doesn't have the time to recover. Some people can get away with it, like Milos. But for others, it's not the mind that gives up. It's sometimes that the body that doesn't want to respond no more. So I think it's risky. It's actually really very risky for him to do it. I applaud him for that because you go in and you mix it up, and it's I think it's $200,000 too. So that's worth it. But
let me ask you guys a question
Yes.
regarding that, right? So you guys got a ton more experience than I do getting on stage and doing multiple shows. Do you think there are bodybuilders who actually prepare and can peak better with shorter turnarounds, whereas some bodybuilders may not also peak better because they had a long time? Like, I think we just attached to this concept that if you had a year to prepare, you're going to be better. But it might be some guys who produce a better package when they only have about 6 months or less.
Samson was the best example in that when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Samson literally competed multiple times and got better with each show.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different look. It's not gonna be the-
But that only works for so long. You get to a point where your body said, okay, now hold on, we can't keep doing this forever. Because you get to a point where your body says, we need a break.
So, Milos, let me ask you this, because I know you probably have more shows than everybody on the panel, right?
Me and Chris have a 72 each.
Okay, so do you think you could have had some higher placings in some other shows if, let's say you only did 35?
Yeah. No, I tell you this, and I'm glad that you mentioned. I competed extensively. When I signed up 91, I did everything, 92, everything, 93, and 93, I missed the Arnold Classic, and I don't remember, did everything else. A European tour, and then somebody told me, you need to take a year off. So 94, I took a year off with that idea of, resting more and putting the size. And I actually hated it. I didn't bring more size or anything. I came in a crazy condition, 94, I think, but size was very comparable. I'm not going to say I lost the size, but I didn't gain anything. For me, it was show after the show. I was not off-season guy. I was maintained. My nutrition was always eat nutrients at a time you need, what you need, as much as you need. You're never in deficit and you're never in great suffocit. So you can maintain it. You bump it up a little bit. 4 weeks, I can prepare for the show. So I think you nailed it. There are some guys, if they stretch it for too long, or they rest and then they're just boom.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm thinking, because again, this is going to be newer territory for me compared to, all of you guys and your experience. But I look at what Quentin went with last year. And I think sometimes you have a longer break. You kind of create a mystery of how you're going to land that plane after you've been taken off for so long.
Okay, so this is going to touch the subject that Steve is very knowledgeable about. We talked about steroids and everything. And Steve, you mentioned back in the 90s, Chris, Dennis, and I, when we took off, that was off. Nothing touching. We did PCT. Some of us didn't even do the PCT. I did always PCT in between. But now it's cruising. And now cruisings, I've heard from as low as 250 to as high as like 500 is cruising. Okay?
Or a gram.
Or a gram, right?
Yeah.
How can that be possible?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. People say I don't need to come off. Need to maintain the size.
They worry about losing the pipe, So then I need this much to keep my pipe alive. This is some bullshit.
I would tell you this. Of course, I can't speak for like Sean Ray, but as far as I think that Sean Ray did, he would be 6 months off, and then 6 months before the Olympia, he would be back on. Things like this. I did, and I said that maybe it's going to be interesting for you, Steve. Once I started, if I was 8 weeks on, I would have to be at least 4 weeks off. 10 weeks on, 5 weeks off. 12, 6. That was my pattern, right? And I would always do the strong PCT. And what's interesting, Sonny Schmidt, my training partner back in the day, he was like, okay, we have to train harder off the steroids than when we'll be on, right?
That was the old school.
Everything would be good, but you have to train harder. We have to push each other harder because it's easy to train on steroids, right? So this kind of things. But I'm afraid for somebody like Derek that did only one show a year, one, and now it's going to maybe it's going to work perfectly. God knows, right? But then I know where you're headed.
He haven't had that many chances to compete like that. So I think he just wanted to get up there and do more shows and get more.
I mean, listen, if he pulls it off, this is something that's never been done before. Let's say he wins the Pittsburgh Pro and he wins the Olympia.
I mean, Chris Aceto knows how to pick these guys for multiple shows. So, I mean, he picked them perfectly for the Arnold Classic. So it wouldn't surprise me if he can do it again. But he might be tired for the Mr. Olympia, and then it's up to somebody else to take that spot.
Yeah, I'm afraid that his body is not responding. as much as he should or could. That's my only. But I don't know. I mean, I wish him all the best.
One thing we know for
he
sure
proved,
is going to be
huh?
a different look.
Yeah, he proved everybody wrong. But it's gonna be hard to be better than the Arnold 2 more times this year. It's gonna be hard, very hard.
That was his best look. So he has his work cut out for him. That's for sure.
And because the problem is, if you're 5% less, then you're already not as good as you were at the last show.
That's why Samson lost, right? I mean, he was compared to his previous self at the Mr. Olympia, and he's not as good. And Derek leapfrogged over him,
right,
with those big legs of his, and he lost. And he won. He won the show.
Yeah, but kudos to the big balls he's showing, and even though he signed the contract before, it doesn't matter. He's in my book. That's bodybuilding right there. We complained about so many guys not getting on stage, and he's putting all the eggs in one basket, and he's going for it.
It's 4 shows in 1 year, though. You should be able to do it.
Yeah,
I tell you this. You guys know that I don't coach Samson for a while already, right? Mm-hmm. But I know when I did coach him and we did these frequent shows, he would be completely off like we were, okay? Mm-hmm. And to the point that, he made a trip, to see Fuad and everybody else there when he was off. They didn't believe him that he's off.
Yeah, yeah.
Off meant completely off.
Yeah, but what do you expect? I mean, if you're on gear and you come off and 4 weeks later you look like it's not the same person, that means you don't have the genetics.
That's me.
Yeah. Yeah, but that shows you. Yeah, I
realized that a long time ago. That's why I never bothered with pro bodybuilding, because I knew it was just going to be a nightmare for me. And I would have to push really, really hard. Yeah, I would have to push really, really hard to get to a phenomenal size.
Yeah.
Dennis, do you think a bodybuilder is going to look better because they take a bunch of shit?
No.
Is it going to make him a better bodybuilder to take a bunch of shit?
No.
No.
No. No, not at all.
But that's still up in the air. Like, people think more is better. Like, better for what? It's not going to do nothing better. It'll make you hold more water, but it's not going to make you better.
Yeah. But this is a discussion you can have for the next 20 years. You'll always have people that say, that's not true. They don't believe you. And, and it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we, and we see it in the comments sometimes. We just about last week's podcast we had with Flex, people still accusing us of fucking lying and, So you want to tell them what you're doing, and then they call you a liar. At the end of the day.
I get it, though, because you have the audience. Like, I used to be audience, too. Right now I'm a little bit more part of the bodybuilding space. So you hear through the grapevine crazy cycles and dosages and diuretic protocols, and you're like, this guy's lying, because I read on the internet that they were doing this. Yeah. And then as you get more, you get actually a part of the bodybuilding space, and you start talking to the guys who help them with their blood work, you realize, like, oh, wait a minute, it could actually be true.
You know who spread?
But it takes a while before you're at that level.
Yeah. You know who spreads the rumors about cycles?
The getbig.com.
No. Are they still alive? No, but who spreads those cycle rumors? Mostly, it's always the same people.
The gear suppliers, obviously.
Exactly. And they tell you, I'm selling guys, I'm selling to him, and he's using this and that. That's how they make money. That's how this shit goes out.
You have to make it exciting. Yeah, you have to make it exciting. Yeah, so God forbid signing up with a coach that actually knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So you send them the protocol, like, that's it? So, and then they double it on their own, That's why I stopped coaching. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, people got to, take into account that bodybuilders are pretty trustworthy, and some of us even have gold medals from the 80s.
I caught that.
You mean Olympic Games?
Yeah, no. The Olympics.
Yeah, the Olympics. Weightlifting when you're like 13
when
years
he's
old.
13 years old, he had the fucking gold medal, man. Yeah.
Shit. I was like, I caught that.
Hey, Chris sent me a video. It's a while ago. It was not. Maybe like 6 months after the podcast. He sends me a video about this girl who said, "Yeah, 6-time Mr. Olympia, my trainer."
But Steve, you mentioned
this dude.
Getbig.com. Okay, so I tell you this: when they were going with these crazy cycles, I went on the Get Big. It's probably still there, like about 2006.
Yeah.
And I brought Olympia cycle. Okay, this is what Olympia guys do, and that cycle was too much for Dennis. Dennis didn't want to even take that much. Okay, so for people to understand, because Dennis, you were on the lower side. Like,
yeah. I would say so. Yeah, I was on the lower side.
You went low, very, very low. People, if they know what you guys took, they say, no way.
They know, but they don't believe it. That's the problem.
I think until you try or you have that response, like not everybody has the same response. I mean, I saw it in my own gym when I started taking gear myself. You go to the same guy to get your gear from, and the other guy gets phenomenal response. Same work ethic, same diet. So they blow up right in front of your eyes, and it didn't happen to me or other guys that I knew got the exact same pharmaceutical grade gear. And you're like, wait a minute. Maybe this is, some people are meant for this stuff and other people are not.
Yeah.
And I think the people who are meant for this stuff, you can get away with low dosages and take it all the way. And it's usually the amateurs, like a guy like me, for example. I would need to ramp up the dose to crazy amounts and sacrifice my health. But I realized early enough, because I saw it happen around me, these guys compete for a couple of years. They go crazy dosages, and then they get a health complication, and they're done. Yeah. And that's kind of sad, because then you have nothing to show for it besides kidney failure. Don't even have a trophy.
But do you also take in consideration that some of the stuff was a lot cleaner, or not cleaner, but a lot more? I don't know. The ingredients was different. Like I had this company called Rugby. And I remember that was my first little cycle was in my hand.
It's called what?
Rugby was the company.
Rugby? I don't know. What are you talking? Was that party drugs or steroids?
It was a Dynaball.
Little tablet with a rugby on it.
Little small tablet. I took one. It was a 5 milligram tablet. I remember it made me a little dizzy. I was like, fuck, this is crazy. Like, damn.
It probably was a Rohypnol.
Oh, listen, so I was like, I'm not going to do this. This is stupid. I'm not going to be fucking feeling sick every day. And so I didn't take anything else. But I went to the gym. I was at my college, and I went to the gym later on that week, and I was 5 pounds heavier. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I'm going to take that shit. So I started taking it again. I was like, give me those things back.
From one tablet? From one tablet.
One tablet.
Yeah.
5 pounds.
I believe it.
Annabelle.
That is probably. In the Dominican Republic, they have a D-ball that is mixed with some kind of sedatives. Like, so it just makes you want to sleep.
Do you remember Sten, though? Sten?
Oh, with the antihistamine, probably.
Sten was good back.
Which one? See?
Sten. You used to get that from Mexico.
I'm learning new stuff. See?
And then what else? The Finajet.
Finajet. That was Trenbolone.
Yeah, that was some good shit. Big ass.
You talking about the one with the cow and the horse on it?
Yeah. Give me that.
That was a 50 or 30 or 50 cc bottle.
And the Russian
straight from the vet.
The Russian GH. There's supposed to be with the human. Whatever the hell they had it.
Oh, they call it it wasn't the synthetic. This was the human version of it.
Human version of it.
Yeah. That's where people
tried that one too. That was good.
You tried it.
So Dennis, back in the day when you were living in Thailand, did you get your stuff from the pharmacy here?
Absolutely.
Like I do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's still good quality to this day.
Yeah.
The underground labs are a little bit dodgy. I'd stay away from those, but the pharmaceutical grade that's FDA approved here.
See, back then in the 90s, there was, they had the original Sustanon, Organon.
Still available.
The Decas was there. They had Vinstrol. They had
Desmas from Spain.
I got one.
They didn't have them. If they had the ones you're talking about, is the ones that come in 3 vials, the Vinstrol.
Mm-hmm. The ampules, the Desma or Zambon.
You know how they got them, and this was the problem. In the beginning, everything was fine with the pharmacies, but then there was these steroid dealers from the UK and from wherever they came and had suitcases full of fake gear. What they did was they went to the pharmacies and they'd make deals. They said, listen, I'll take 200 of fucking Deckers. I give you 200 of Vinstrol. You know what I'm saying? And they did those deals, and then all of a sudden, fake shit got introduced into the pharmacies, and they didn't even know it was fake.
Hey, what about this one? You ever heard of the injectable Anadrol 50?
I heard of it, but I've never seen it.
I had that.
I never seen it, but I heard of it. Yeah, and some of the guys from German guy was using it. And
I might have some in my closet. Maybe allegedly.
Was it good?
Allegedly.
So,
Allegedly.
so Steve, what are you doing over there? What is your everyday thing in Thailand?
Reading scientific literature and then making videos for people to learn from.
Yeah.
And then I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Go to the gym in the evening.
So-
you know, you remember Bart?
Yeah, Bart used to train in my gym. Bart from from Holland.
Yeah, exactly. So he opened up his own gym, the Muscle Factory.
Right.
It's one of the biggest gyms in Thailand. He
Yeah.
has one in Bangkok, one in Pattaya.
Right.
And that's where we train. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice, no air conditioning, sweaty, you know, greasy, and
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So, but most of the time I just read the research and mix in my own anecdotal experience and then make videos.
Yeah.
So people can learn something new. Because again, the transparency for steroids, it's, you know, not really where I want it to be.
Yeah. Is he still there, Bart?
Bart's still there. Yeah, he owns the gym. Yeah,
I know,
still here. He's been here for 25 years, and I've been here 20 years. I came right after you left, 2006.
Yeah, I left in 2004. So yeah, it's been 20. It's going on 21 years. So, yeah, Bart was the one when my wife saw him. Every time she saw him, because he was a member at the gym, he said she called him Brainhead because
Because of the. You had that little,
he's got
the little grooves.
It was really bad for him back then. I don't know what it's like now, but
It's less now. Yeah, after you came
What
off.
is this about?
I don't
What
know.
is this?
I don't know, but Sergio's got it too.
But Steve reads the literature. So what can
So
cause?
that I don't know. It's not caused by steroids. Otherwise, I would
Somebody
have.
asked.
It's
I had a
hereditary.
couple of guys.
Thank God I don't have that shit because I wouldn't be able to fucking go like
I have a
this.
little bit here on the side, but I think it's because I sleep on my side. So that's why.
I sleep on my face and I'm still not flat nosed, so it's okay.
Dennis, you probably don't remember. You point out to me a pharmacy and you told me to go there and buy my stuff. So I went there and I got my D-ball and stuff. And then I had it in my hands and then you walked through the door and then you told the lady, now give him a reel. And then she replaced my D-ball, you know, those pink ones, right? With the other one that looks identical, right? You remember the difference? When you open
I don't remember this because I don't remember D-ball being faked in Thailand because they manufactured them in Thailand back then.
Here. Now you're going to remember. The ones that were real ones were super hard and kind of purplish.
Yeah, but why would they sell you fake ones out of the pharmacy? That doesn't make sense.
Dennis, you know that I don't make up the shit. Because that cost them like $5 less.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And, you could sell it, and $5 would be a huge. That's your story.
Yeah.
And how would I know that? Oh, this is fake. It looked identical, but you came and then told her, no, now give him a real stuff because you knew there was two of the different ones.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
it's
still
been
happens.
Do you know that?
It's been forever.
Yeah, it
but-
still happens. Yeah, it depends on which pharmacy you go to and how good of a relationship you have. So
Yeah.
if you're new in town, and especially if you have an Australian accent, because they know that the gear situation in Australia is terrible, then you might get ripped off. It's a shame.
See, and
So there's only a select few pharmacies that I shop with.
yeah,
I've
see,
been
and
shopping for the last decade.
that wasn't the case back then. It was so good, but at the end, in the early 2000s, it started because of those fake gear fucking drug dealers that bring the fake stuff into the country. That was the problem.
Yeah, what they produce locally. I mean, what they produce locally is out in the underground labs. It's basically poison. I've been tried it. Yeah, it's ethyl oleate and propylene glycol oil, so that literally dissolves you from the inside. It's nasty. Yeah, it's a solvent. So basically, it's something you would clean your car with, right, to take the dust off. And it's very easy. You take the solvent, you take the raw steroid powder, you shake it up, and then you sell it. So there's no brewing involved. Yeah, so it's. I mean, some good underground labs have started showing up, but yeah, you have to be really, really careful. There's like 25 different brands now, and most of them are.
Yeah.
I know. I take pharmaceutical stuff. I respect my body.
Yeah. Shit. But if you think you take pharmaceutical stuff from the pharmacy and you get some fake shit, You don't know.
Yeah.
If it's
Well,
that.
the Bayer is hard to fake. That oil is super thick, so I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah.
And again, the pharmacy that I shop with has been in business since you were around.
Yeah.
So they've been a staple of the bodybuilding community.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I can't not do our final predictions for the Detroit Pro. Since this is this weekend, Ron can do a prediction. He doesn't have to. I have your name down just in case. You know, confidence sometimes is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Go get it, man.
We're gonna
show up and
yeah.
you know,
We're gonna
take some guys'
start.
names.
We're gonna start with Chris. Chris, I need your top 5 in numerical, in particular order. So,
Top 5.
yeah. You can start from 5. You can start from 1. You can start from 3. I don't really care. Just give me your top 5.
Let's hear it.
I put Carlos 5th, Stas 4th, 3rd.
Hold on, slow down. I got it right. Who's Sass in 4th? Okay.
Yeah.
It's Carlos.
Carlos 5th, Stas 4th, 3rd. Collins 5th.
James.
2nd. Yeah.
Come on, there's only 2 left, Chris.
I know. Can you beat William? Can you?
Can I beat William?
Yeah.
Of course you can.
I mean,
Yeah.
how?
Oh, you want me to walk you through it?
Yeah.
What's the plan?
Yeah, walk through it.
All right. So William's 2 weaknesses are 2 of my strengths. He's narrow, and his midsection has seen better days.
Yeah.
So I got a better midsection. I'm wider, and I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people from the back. I think William has great back poses, and he's great from the side. I think that we're going to compare very well from the back, and it's going to come down to the side poses. I'll be honest with you. I believe that my hamstring drop is going to surprise a lot of people. That's something that I've improved, and it also wasn't something that they necessarily pointed out for me to improve, but I did. A lot of that was from basically posing. But, yeah, I think it's going to be an apples to bananas kind of comparison with those 2. But, yeah, I think the midsection and the width is going to determine it for me.
How's your density?
What's your height, Ron?
6'1".
Ha.
And what's your body weight right now?
It's going to be a big difference.
272.
So you're probably going to be in your. What do you think you're going to be on stage?
265, 264.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
You made me a believer.
I mean, if you would be 265 on stage, that sounds really good at your height. You have to be 265. But if you're 272 now, I just have a hard time believing you're only going to drop 5 to 7 pounds in the next few days. I think that there's just a bigger drop, which doesn't mean you're going to get smaller once you get lighter. But I think water is anywhere from 8 to 15 pounds. That's just in my experience. So I might be wrong. Nowadays might be different because people drink now. They don't stop drinking too much. So could happen. Milos, what do you think? Oh, wait, Chris. So who's in second? Who's in first? You ain't getting away with it. Come on.
All right. He sold me on that one. I put William second. I put Ron at the showstopper.
Okay.
Man from Detroit.
So I wish we would have had William on the fucking podcast too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And you did tell me
He doesn't hold back.
Okay. All right. So Milos.
I love Ron's physique, and I think he can become fucking force to be reckoned with. But I think he is going to still need a little bit more fullness to the legs, to come because 6'1" is going to maybe reflect, and Bonyak is just compact, Yeah, he is narrow. He learns how to open up, and he's opening up even his lats. More legs are there. I hear you about the stomach. He's even managing abs a little bit better. If you watch his, it's not his strong point, but he's so dense. He impressed me. Side poses. Oh my God, he is so good on side chest, side triceps. Okay, so if you're thinking that's going to be a fight, I still think that William has an edge, so I'm going to put him first. I'm going to put Ron second. If you ask me whose physique I like better, it's not even a question.
No question.
But also coming, Milos, but also coming from the Arnold and doing that turnaround.
All right, don't try to influence Milos now. Let him do his top five.
Yeah,
He's trying to influence you now. Look, like
thinking of all the different things.
William is the guy that is consistent with his conditioning every time. Every time he competed, he was spot on. When he lost to Nathan that one show, he was slightly off. And okay, I didn't agree with that decision anyway. But he's going to come conditioned, and he's super dense. He's super thick. And then from the side, that hamstring ass. that's what the Dennis always talk about. His fucking ass is like this big, and he leaves the impression of the size, right? As stupid as it sounds, right? When you do the side pose and then big ass and big hamstring, your lower body is heavy. Ron second, but Ron, if your back is improved and slice and dice, and you keep your waist tight, which in that video that you posted, you didn't keep it, and that's what I was gonna send it like. Here it is. You cannot.
When did he post that video? When did he post that video?
A few days ago.
Look at Mr. RPG. Check his. See if
is
we can
there?
find it. Yeah, well, if it's on there, we'll find it.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
Yeah, okay. And Ron,
so Milos can sleep well at night, because if he doesn't point it out, he can't sleep.
Yes, because I was going to send you the message, and I don't know how I would sugarcoat it to tell you, but be a judge now. Look at the video.
Okay, let's.
Most beautiful physique. Okay, look at his stomach. Look at his stomach. Look at his stomach. Okay.
Beautiful shape, though. Damn.
Unreal. Right?
Look at chest. How the chest look like in the front double. Play that again.
Hey, look at that comment. I'm gonna need you to stop touching on your legs.
He touched did it touch his hamstrings in the back in the front pose?
Better make sure, man.
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah. Is there another video? Milos, which one did you see?
I thought so that I saw, because, okay, even if you freeze it, right here for 3-4 seconds, you let your stomach go.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But, that cannot be. You have to glue your stomach to the spine because you have a small waist and flat stomach. And that's your big attribute that you're going to catch them. Then you lift your look at the arms.
Look at the
stupid arm.
Look at the chest. Look at the chest.
Everything. Yeah. The chest, shoulders,
I don't know if it's the light from above, but this chest look like it's fucking super swole right here.
What kind of
that Phil Heath lost 2018 to Sean, and not on mandatory poses, but on in between.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So here, how are you gonna catch the attention of the judges? Beautiful physique. Look at super small waist, but then you let the stomach out and it doesn't look impressive. Yeah. So now you're losing, but it's supposed to be a strength. Those are kind of things of presentation. But anyway, so I see William first. I see you second, but I think that Sas is gonna give you guys trouble probably in conditioning, but he just doesn't have a shape, and I think that your shape is gonna take over. Hollingsted, I hope he brings it. I love James, but somehow he keeps missing. And I just don't have a confidence that he's going to nail it perfectly. I think he's a little bit smaller and more narrow. He's more up and down now than like a couple of years ago when he opened up. There was more to it.
Gained a little bit more weight, though, it looks like.
He got bigger, but it doesn't translate
Yeah,
so well
the
to stage presence.
pictures on Instagram, I'm not judging by pictures anymore. I'm done with
Look at
that.
the video, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so who's third, Milos?
third is Sas, fourth is James, and fifth is going to be Carlos. Yeah, Carlos is new, has everything, but it's still, I don't know. I think that you said he needs to marinate.
He needs to marinate a couple of more years. Yeah.
Yeah, that was your and I agree. Unless he comes peeled to the bone, and then the limbs are crazy. The legs and arms are among the best.
Carlos is good. He's good.
Yeah.
I think he kept dying quite a bit, so I think I have similar as Milos, but I have Carlos in fourth.
Did he
And James in fifth.
switch coaches? Is that a true story?
No, I heard that's been debunked.
Okay, so it wasn't true. Okay. Yeah.
Steve, who do you have?
No. Yeah.
Steve.
Steve.
Yeah, so of course, William is my boy, right? I used to train at the same gym, and he has a lot of stage presence. But you're welcome to prove me wrong, Ron. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this comparison between you and William, and may the best man win. But for now, I'm going to have to place William in first and Ron in second, and then Sazerati in third, because he made a lot of progress, and I've been following his journey quite a bit. And I really like what he's been doing the last couple of years, or coming back to the sport. And then I would have Carlos fourth, just because I know that he's going to be in better condition compared to his last showing. And then James in fifth, because I don't know, it seems that he's missing the peak a little bit. Now, I know Carlos and James are not really hitting their stride yet, so it's probably between both of those guys. But Carlos has so much muscle.
Yeah.
And even if he's a little bit off, it's going to be easy to jump over James, because the separation and the muscularity isn't there, even though he's thick and dense.
Yeah.
I like Carlos' physique. It's like a shrunken version of Big Ramy.
Yeah.
It's like Big Ramy was compressed.
The good thing is I can't argue with neither one of you guys. All you guys have valid points when it comes to the predictions. I didn't like what Chris did. He asked Ron to prove him that he can beat, so you going off a couple of shots. That wasn't your prediction, so I'm not even judging that.
But I do want Ron to get his Olympia qualification.
Me
because
too.
A matchup between Ron and Samson, I mean, that's...
Not only him and Samson, the matchup between
But the
him...
height and the muscularity, I think
the matchup
that's-
between him and Andrew, This is also another one, because...
We train together.
You and Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
at Chris's gym. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Don't you have pictures of posing together?
Maybe.
okay. All right, here's me.
right.
Here's my prediction. I'm going with William because he's the highest ranking guy going into the show. And I believe that this is William's last year, and he wants to go out with a bang. And he doesn't really care where he places, I think. I think for him it's just important that he looks good at every show that he steps on stage at this time. So now, I had Samson winning the Arnold, so that doesn't mean this is going to happen. So, whoever the person is I put in second can easily probably win the show, and the third guy too. I have...
Here we go.
I want to put Ron there, but I have a feeling. My feeling tells me that this guy Sass is going to be so incredible peeled that you just can't deny him. This is my feeling. Ron, don't take this personal, please. I think your physique is top notch, and I think if you bring your legs up just a little bit more, like Milos mentioned, I think you're going to be very hard to beat for anybody, But I'm just going off of right now. Then I would have Ron in third. I know you would hate to be third again, because I know I would. And then I'm also going with Carlos, and then James in fifth. I don't even know why. We just don't give James enough credit. But it's just because he misses his peak every single time, and he just looks small on any steps on stage. Pictures on Instagram, you think, oh, he's going to come, you know. Maybe he should stop posting. Just get on stage and just show us what you got.
Surprise everybody.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Let's ask Ron, you want to do prediction?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do a prediction.
All right.
So obviously you compete because everything doesn't go status quo straight down the line. And I got a lot of confidence in myself going into this show. Not just looking at the competition, but the improvements that I've made. I'm very confident in every pose, and that's something that I can't say I've actually had in the past. I can admit that. So I'll put myself at first.
I don't expect anything else.
And then after that, I really believe the beauty of the show, when you kind of take a pan out view, is that you got a lot of really, really good guys that have kind of struggled with consistency in one way or another. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of mystery. So I think there's that wild card factor. You know, we have seen James and we have seen Carlos recently. So we know a little bit about them. Sauce looks really good. But, you know, like I said, you know, he's in the middle class with a lot of us. I don't think he's ever placed higher than sixth himself. So we got to keep that in mind, too. So I'm going to go with myself. I'm going to go William. Pretty solid on that. I don't see in any way, shape, or form William being less than second. So third, I'm going to go with Sauce just because his conditioning is the known commodity there. And now we got the two wild cards with James and Carlos, because you got Carlos with all this shape and size, but, you know, conditioning, maybe because of the ulcerative colitis, may not be something that he can kind of hone in on. And then we got James, who for some odd reason, he battles with trying to be full or too conditioned. So he hasn't figured out his look. So, and fourth, I'm going to actually go with Carlos. I think what Steve said is kind of spot on. Like, Carlos is so good with his shape. He's one of the guys that can place well and be off, which is crazy to think about. So I got Carlos in fourth. He could easily be third over Sauce, but I think the conditioning difference may just be too much. And then I got James in fifth. Shout out to like the guys who haven't been mentioned. I'll say one. I think the cat is going to be his pro debut. Justin Wyatt is a very muscular guy. He looks really, really good.
From where? Where's he from?
He's one of these Midwest states, man. I can't call it.
Which one?
Justin Wyatt, I believe is his name.
No, there's a Justin Abbott and there's a Justin Musio. That's it.
Oh, maybe he didn't get the sign up in time. Hope he does.
There's no Wyatt. Yeah, nah.
Okay. Well, if he shows, I thought he was a pretty good looking up and coming guy, and yeah. So that's my call. I got myself first, William second, third is Sauce, Carlos in fourth, and James in fifth.
It's crazy. It's a 15-man lineup, and we literally just talk about the top five. And I got to be honest that there's 10 more guys that I have literally no idea who they are.
Oh, me neither.
But that doesn't mean that there's not one or two in that lineup that can come in there and all of a sudden shock the whole fucking world. So where did he come from? And and I don't know who this Justin Musial is, because I see that he's from Germany, but I have an idea that it could be this one Justin that turned pro not too long ago. I don't know, a year ago or 2 years ago maybe. And if it's the same guy, that he is not bad. He's not bad. But it's kind of sad. I know Walter Martin, he's going to do this as his, final show. He's an older guy. He just wants to do this show because he's from that area. And all the other guys, I apologize. I'm so sorry. I don't even know.
Well, hey, listen, guys, shout out to you guys. You know what I mean? I'm not a household name either. So, just keep plugging away, man, and you guys get your acclaim as well.
Does anybody here on this panel right now know any one out of the other 10 that we didn't mention?
Walter Martin is He's been around, but everybody else, and I'm embarrassed that we don't know. We should know.
Yeah, but how? How would we know?
Yeah, if
We
I
will
saw that,
know after this
maybe.
weekend.
Yeah.
I had some
Yeah, I
guys
don't.
that will make a name for themselves.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the circuit, and I think for one reason or another, it's either debuts or guys who didn't compete last year. So it's one of the two that's going on right now.
Yeah, but if you didn't compete last year, that means if you did compete last year, you didn't really do too well because we don't really know who you are.
No,
So,
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's either a debut or they didn't compete last year.
yeah.
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 Well,
Could be.
listen, hopefully we get surprised and there's going to be 2-3 guys on that stage saying, hey, wait a minute. You guys predicted the top 5. You guys didn't talk about me. So
Yeah.
I really hope prove us wrong. And, I'm excited to see what's happening this weekend. Let's go to one thing. Give me your winner at the Classic. Who wins the Classic Physique category? I'm going to read the names again one more time. Just one winner, please. Bassem Mashuri, Gabriel Castillo, Jack Eagles, Daniel Fabode, Lucas Funk, Adrian Gordillo, Matt Grego, Brock Jenkins, Alex Kent, Hamza Said, Luke Andre Steiger, Wesley Wizards, Jay Yont. Yont.
Who's going first?
Hey, Wesley.
Okay, he's going with his fellow Dutchman, of course.
Hey, William is also my fellow Dutchman. No, Wesley just had an off time at the Arnold Classic, like he got sick. And he was actually one of his best shape ever, but he got sick, so he lost like 7 pounds or 7 kilos.
So do you
it was
think we're going to see the Wesley that was supposed to be on that stage?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right, you say Wesley. Chris says?
Freaky dicky Dutchman.
Milos?
Grego.
Ron?
Grego.
I'm going with Grego too. Yeah. All right, guys. Man, I appreciate you. Unless, do we have something that we need to talk about? Where's my notes? Before I forget. Yeah. Let's talk about one more person. Who's doing the Pittsburgh Pro? Who I saw the update. I'm sure you all saw it. Hey, I think Good Vito has a few words to spare at the Pittsburgh Pro. So I think he made some drastic improvements size-wise. His condition for 4 weeks out, or almost more than 4 weeks, is literally crazy. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Great conditioning. Way better than last year.
Yeah.
If I had to really pick something, I'd say the back still needs to improve.
We didn't see the back. He didn't show the back. So
I saw that.
you saw a picture?
Yeah.
He poses
He
back.
was off in Brazil. I don't know
Good
Brazil,
Vito's
but
Instagram.
Arms and legs crazy. Chest could be a little bit better and back could be better.
Yeah, Chris, I know you're gonna find a few more things, but
No, I'm just saying.
let's just give him props for what he achieved in the last.
No, I said it.
You think his back is not good enough? I think his back is much better than it was.
It improved a lot, but it still has a little bit of gap in the lats to fill out, especially compared to those legs.
But you know what I think? In his case, I think he is more impressive standing next to other guys than by himself.
True.
Okay, so
Like he would expose Carlos quite a bit.
So I competed against Good Vito his last show in Detroit. And it was really, really close. And I had Martin winning simply because of the posing. When you analyze body part for body part, he definitely had his wins over Martin, but he just wasn't quite polished in and out of some of the poses. So to me, although, like I said, he's improved some things and the body parts have come up, like, honestly, his main issue was just presentation. Yeah, his main issue was just presentation. Like, the guy's physique is great. His conditioning was great. Freaky quads. His width is crazy. Like I said, the only issue was, like, last year kind of just looked like a collection of fucking muscle and body parts thrown together. And it didn't really come to life. And I think Martin was able to edge him in that regard.
I agree with everything you just said.
And those legs are going to make a lot of people look like they don't have much legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Chris, if you could get a hold of him in the next couple of weeks, what do you think?
Well, there's a lot of things. It could be like, is the person going to actually do the work like that?
Communication is going to be tough. You don't understand much.
No. Oh, he doesn't speak English, huh?
I spoke with him before, but he's
He's from Russian, right?
Actually-
Yeah, he
Originally.
moved to Brazil. Yeah, moved to Brazil.
Speaks
The actual
speaks
mus-
Portuguese like he's from there though.
yeah.
So maybe he picks up languages quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting though. It's going to be exciting because there's literally we got Derek, Good Vito. Who did we talk about? It's in the show.
What is
Michael Criso. Who else?
Rizzo's going to
You have a
huge.
video of him?
Nick Walker, Martin Fitzwater. There's literally 4 or 5 guys that should win this show. That they won't even qualify. I mean, Nick needs to qualify, but Martin needs to. They all need to qualify. So there's only one leaving Pittsburgh with a qualification, unless Derek wins, then nobody leaves with a qualification.
Maybe that's why he's doing it to kind of prevent them from going to the O.
Are we gonna all be there? 'Cause
Yeah.
I think
Oh yeah. I mean,
you got to see the show because this is like.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's not an Olympia, but it's like an all-star Olympia because some of the people that probably wouldn't make it to Olympia is gonna be in it. It's just like, but they are a star in the sport.
Yeah,
so.
but think about this for a second. There's gonna be guys walking away. They need to qualify. They're not qualifying.
Yeah.
And then they have to
Do
go
you guys
to
think
California
that
or another show.
Do you guys think that if too many of the top guys potentially play bumper cars, you think they'll go back to point system?
No.
No.
This is the way. That's the way it should be, man. It should be. The best of the best should go to
I
the
agree
Olympia.
I agree.
Hey,
with you.
listen, Ron, this sucks because back in my time when I competed, and I was supposed to be like top 3, but I know that Vince Taylor's going to be there every time, and I know that Ron Love is going to be there, and Sonny Schmidt, like Thierry Pastel, right? So like, there's already 3 guys I can't beat, right? So
Yeah.
now Derek is coming. He already qualified. Martin is already qualified, right?
Oh yeah, he qualified in Prague last year. Yeah.
But too bad, so sad, you know?
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I'm always thinking about like sometimes the bottom line of the IFBB, you know, somebody might start sulking and what about this guy or whatever. But I think honestly is going to put more guys in the frame of mind to like not pick a show, but pick a time frame where they can do 3 or 4 shows at once.
So now think about this scenario. Pittsburgh Pro. Nick Walker wins. What is that going to do to the Olympia this year?
Oh, that would be.
It's going to shot Bob up.
And listen, it's possible.
It absolutely is possible. Even though Bob thinks it's not possible, but it's possible.
I think comparisons in bodybuilding are everything in this sense. I think when you throw Nick Walker in certain lineups with 3 or 4 guys, depending on who's up there, the complexion is different. But when you take Nick Walker and he's in a one-on-one call-out with anybody, he's got some poses that he's going to be very tough to beat in. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. So let's say it was Nick, Hottie, Derek, and Samson. That's going to be a different battle for Nick than when it's just Nick and Derek. That's a completely different ballgame.
Let's go through the poses real quick. For Nick, just Nick, Derek, and Martin, okay?
Okay.
Let's break that down real quick. We have a little time. So, front double biceps. Who wins the front double?
Oof. Shape-wise, Derek.
Okay, let's not go into details because it's going to take too long. Let's just call out the person that wins that pose because I'm going to write it down so we see who's winning. Front double biceps. Who wins? I put Derek. I put Martin and Nick, and I give each whoever a score. So let's go.
Martin
won. Milos.
I'll go with Derek.
Yeah, same.
Steve, Derek. Chris? Derek. I mix it up. I go with Nick.
I was going to say Nick.
Okay, so front lat spread.
Martin.
Yeah.
Martin.
Hold on. Before, what did Ron say before? on front double? What did you give on?
I had Martin as well.
Martin.
So who else had Martin on the front double?
Nobody.
Nobody.
I'm splitting it different.
Okay.
I'm splitting it different.
So now, who was the first one who had front double for Derek? No, Martin. Steve.
I had a Derek for the front double.
Okay, so front lat spread.
Martin.
So you stick with Martin. Steve.
Yeah, Martin.
Chris.
Great, but I think Derek improved that front lat spread.
Chris.
I will go with Derek.
So Milos goes with Derek and Chris?
Derek.
Okay. I'll go with Martin. Side chest.
Nick.
Yeah, Nick and Martin is good, but I think Nick has too much power.
Nick. So do we have
But
1,
Martin
2,
is-
3, 4
I
Nick?
think everybody's got Nick.
So this would be 5 then, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so side back double.
Not important to mention.
Okay, so Derek.
Yeah.
With Nick being good, but the Derek is
Derek's pose, man, it's
5.
untouchable.
it's insane.
Okay,
Yeah, it's like for youth.
real lat spread.
Derek?
Yeah, I'll go with Derek. I'm actually going to go contrary though. Take me off of Derek for back double. I'm going with Nick.
So you're going with Nick.
I like his hamstrings are thicker.
And it's beautiful. Like Nick from the back, he has no waist like he has from the front.
Okay.
From the front, his waist is a little bit distracting, but from the back, it's super small.
Okay, real lat
back
spread.
double.
Real lat spread. One more time.
Oh, a second. Let me just ask the Ronnie Coleman question to Ron. What are you smoking?
Okay, one more time. Real lat spread.
Derek.
Derek.
Chris?
Derek.
I'm going also with Derek. Side triceps.
Nick.
Yeah, Nick
Martin.
and Martin. I agree.
Nick?
I go with Nick.
Nick?
But you know,
I'll go with Martin because his waist is a little bit better in the side tricep.
Okay, Martin.
Yeah. Martin nailed that side triceps perfectly. And
All right.
has
Abs and thighs.
Martin.
Martin?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to say Martin.
yeah,
His quads are so overpowering in that.
Chris?
yeah.
Chris is not even no longer with us.
oh, come on, that's Derek's post for you.
Derek.
Yeah.
Derek. Okay. Milos?
If Derek can just crunch down a little bit to have a
Okay. But what if he can't?
Well, you know, I've said this.
listen,
Milos is making up scenarios again.
Martin has Martin has a 4-pack.
It's gonna be quick. Mine has 4 abs.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah, so that doesn't look
that's not gonna be great.
Okay.
deep and peeled and great legs. I'll still go with Martin
Okay.
unless Derek hits it right.
Ron?
I got Martin.
You already said it, or are you just saying it now?
Yeah. I said it already.
Okay, so Steve.
Yeah, Martin also.
Martin. Okay, and I go with Martin too. So, most muscular.
Nick.
Martin.
Martin.
And Martin made so much progress in this pose. I'm going to go with Martin.
Martin. Chris?
Chris, don't say no damn Derek. Come on now.
I said Nick.
Okay. I didn't hear you.
Oh,
Nick.
Ron?
Can I say it with my chest?
I got Nick. I got Nick on the most muscular.
So, Milos?
I had Martin.
You already had Martin.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Nick too for the most muscular, which means who had Derek? Nobody, right?
No.
So two had Martin, 3 had Nick. So that brings us to Derek, 16 points. Martin, 12 points. And Nick, 13 points. So, no more questions asked. I appreciate you. Steve, thank you for coming on. I know it's late.
Anytime.
Ron,
Oh, good,
Ron,
man. I go to bed at 4.
Ron, I wish you all the best. Hold on, Chris. Ron, I wish you all the best for this weekend, man. Prove us
Thank
wrong. I would be the first one to acknowledge I was totally off. Prove me wrong. You know, I really hope you can do it. Chris, go ahead. What you got?
I'm gonna say I like the point total, the point system that we just did better than the pick. I think that's more exciting.
Yeah.
But hold on. That was just like victories, right? First places, that's what you counted.
No, I counted the points for the shot. Who wins what shot? If you say Nick, that means Nick gets 1 point.
And I was also going to say this, Dennis. The one thing that we don't take into account when we talk about these shots and whatever is Nick has the best stage presence out of all of them as far as like that. I mean, your eyes are drawn to him just because animation and the way he conducts himself on the stage.
Yeah, because I mean, we talk about guys, we talk about their beautiful shapes, you know, where they have an advantage over Nick. But when you go pose by pose, Nick is so fucking dangerous.
That's what I was saying. That's what
and
I
he
was
doesn't
saying
tire
about
out.
the one-on-one matchup. Things are different.
He might not look as good as you is standing in front relaxed, but once he hits certain shots, he's gonna expose a lot of guys. So
and he doesn't tire and he doesn't sweat.
Yeah. Ron said one-on-one. It's different if you do Nick and Derek and Nick and Martin and Derek.
Yeah.
It's different than this top three that we did. If you go, if they call 2 guys at a time, it's going to be different. I'm telling you.
What we know for sure is it's going to be an awesome show, and you do not want to miss it. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you, we'll talk about that next week because we might have some news for y'all.
I'll be doing the live stream.
We might have some
from
news
Thailand.
for y'all. All right, guys, appreciate it. Steve, thank you so much. Ron,
Anytime.
I appreciate you. Chris, Milos, peace out, you guys.